Look, none of these films put any effort into. I'm not even going to change. It's not even worth changing for. They don't deserve me changing. This is my top 10, bottom 10. This is the 10 worst films I have seen this year. This is going to be a real pile of crap. So as you can see by the lack of excitement in my voice, this is just an absolute group of terrible, terrible films that I've actually had to sit through and watch. And they are bad films. So again, I'd like to clarify, this is my own personal biased opinion, and I know that some of these films have actually made it onto some other people's top 10 lists. One of these, for example, is actually on Mark Mode's top 10 films of the year. So obviously everything's opinion based, and I am nobody, so take my opinion as you will, but this is my own personal biased opinion. This is not a review of films, this is a small snippet of why I have ranked this film so low down of my 120 plus films. Jesus Christ. Let's get started with some dishonourable mentions. The Secret Life of Pets, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Out of the Shadows, Alice Through the Looking Glass, Warcraft, Ice Age 5, Collision Course, The Other Side of the Door, The Forest. Jesus Christ, that film was bad. So anyway, now I've got rid of some horrendous other films, let's get into the films that really did make me genuinely hate cinema and turning up to go to the cinema every week. So in at number 10, it's a film that everyone watching this is probably familiar with because it's the film I reviewed first, it's the video that's got the most views. Jack Reacher, Never Go Back. And as I quite rightly said in that video, it's aptly titled because I never want to go back and see this film again. It was a drag, it was Tom Cruise attempting to act, and it was just horrendous. It was a boring, mindless action film that had no depth to it, that had no love put into it, and was clearly just pumped out for the money. This is not what Jack Reacher has potential to be, but it comes off as a Bourne rip-off, and Bourne's already a rip-off of James Bond, so it's just a rip-off of a rip-off, really. And it's a bad one as well. It's a really, really bad one. And the start of terrible, terrible horror films begins at number 9. Horror has had some hits this year. Conjuring 2, The Hush, Don't Breathe, so many brilliant films, but they are littered with the bad ones, and I mean bad ones. And Friend Request was literally a film about a girl who gets unfriended by someone on Facebook and then she goes on a murdering killing spree because, you know what, why not? That's a solid hour and a half of my life I'm never getting back. Genuinely just absolute trash. There was one scene in which someone gets their head absolutely smashed to pieces in a lift, but then it's finished off with killer bees. This film had literally no potential at all. No potential. It's a film about a girl who stalked people because they said, "Nah, I don't really like you" on Facebook. Oh, the Toms are not going down well, because this one is a Tom Hanks film and another film that I actually very, very nearly reviewed, but I didn't have enough time on the channel, and I figured after having the terrible review of Jack Reacher, following it up with the review of Inferno, which was just as equally horrendous, would have probably tipped people over the edge, and I've just been like, you are the most negative person on the planet. But when you're watching a film like Inferno, which I like to call Plot Twist the Movie, it's bad. So many plot twists, so little focus, so much trash, and just so many bad lines, bad acting, cheap, quick cuts, unimaginative filmmaking, and again, just really, really overusing plot twists. It's why I've started to go off plot twists a bit, because there is so many in this film. It was kind of ridiculously hard to keep track of what was going on, and who wasn't a friend, and who is a friend, and who people actually are, and whether that watch is actually him, and why Tom Hanks has a Disney watch. Just no. Just no. I don't want to watch Angels and Demons, and I don't want to watch The Da Vinci Code. No. 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 Rosamund Pike falls in love with a black man for 2 hours. I mean, it says it all, really, doesn't it? 2 hours of that. There's a bit of political drama. Malfoy turns up at one point. Not really very good, though, is it? It's not really something you want to be watching for 2 hours, is it? That was a drag film. Ridiculously boring. Really unnaturally boring. Capture the Flag. I've tried to avoid kids' films on this list because I feel like it's unfair. I'm not a child, and I really shouldn't be viewing this as an adult's mind, but literally the most exciting thing that happened in this film was that I created a new film in my head, which was 10 times better than that. It genuinely was, and this was just absolute Saturday morning TV trash. It felt like a film TV movie, and it was just not good at all. The animation was poor, the storyline was poor, the comedy wasn't funny, no one was laughing in the cinema. I nearly fell asleep 3 times. It takes a lot for the film to make me fall asleep. This did everything it could, really. It was bad, and a film that I wouldn't recommend even to smaller kids. It was boring and just terrible, in every sense of the word. Do you want to see Kevin Costner shout for 3 hours? No? Do you want to see him shout for 2 hours? Then maybe Criminal's the film for you. Ryan Reynolds pops in this film for 10 minutes, does nothing for it, dies, and then we get Kevin Costner. Kevin Costner really does like to shout in this film. We gather because he kills certain people and he just goes like a zombie in their face, and it's not fun and not exciting, and again, just another mindless thriller that just don't know where they pull these from sometimes. It was a body swap film that didn't work at all, and its story was bland, its action was bland, everything about it was unimaginative, and again, it just felt like an absolute push. It reminds me of Bastille Dages and my Dishonourable Mentions. Just not a film you need to be going to watch. Don't waste your time with it. It's literally, I don't think there is a better way of me describing this film than it's literally just Kevin Costner shouting for 2 hours. It drags, and it drags, and it drags. Kevin Costner, stop acting, please. Please do us all a favour. Just stop. Look, I'm trying to avoid kids' films on this list, but when you've got Kevin Spacey as a cat, just why? Why do these films exist? Genuinely, I had to sit through this film. It hurts me even talking and bringing this back up. Please, Kevin Spacey, you're one of the best actors ever. Why are you playing a cat? Why is Christopher Walken talking to you like you're not a cat? Why? I genuinely don't want this film to exist, but it does, and I've seen it, and it was bad. Very, very bad. It's Kevin Spacey as an animated cat which doesn't even look right. It doesn't look real, and they tried to make it look as real as possible. Seeing Kevin Spacey as a cat dressed up as a princess is just not funny. My brother didn't like it, I didn't like it, no one in the cinema liked it, no one liked it. I'm pretty confident Kevin Spacey didn't even like this film. Why would you sign up for this? The film opens with Kevin Spacey parachuting into a building, and then 20 minutes later he's a cat. What happened? Why have I seen this film? Why? Now, the original Blair Witch Project is a film that I adore. It's a film that is so well crafted, so brilliantly scary, and has such an interesting concept that I love it every time I watch it. Blair Witch, on the other hand, took everything that was fantastic about the original, thought, you know what, we'll make it modern, we'll have an amazing marketing campaign for it, we'll do everything right. Wait, did we say right? Or did we say wrong? Let's add drones into it. Let's consistently drop cameras so we can get different shots. Let's ruin all the horror by showing you literally every single thing that happens. Let's add in some pointless jump scares which aren't scary because they're clearly fake jump scares. You know what? Let's just ruin Blair Witch. I love it. Let's sell it. Let's put it out there. The only good thing, the saving grace of this film, and the reason it is not lower down this list, is the fact that I absolutely love the story of Blair Witch and the lore of Blair Witch, and finding out why they all stand in the corner was literally the best thing in this entire film. Everything else was unbelievably bad. At times I was laughing. Not one person in that cinema was scared. Me and my mum were laughing when watching it. It was not a scary film, and it was a horror film. Well, it attempted to be a horror film. It tried to emulate an absolutely fantastic horror film and failed horrifically. Do not watch Blair Witch. Do not waste your time. Look up online while they stand in a corner. That's going to be the better option to this. Other than that, just ignore everything about it. It is horrendously bad. And horrendously bad. I saw that the same night as Don't Breathe, and if you've seen my other video, you'll see how high up Don't Breathe is. That is a contrast. That is some contrasting there. Steven Spielberg should genuinely be ashamed of this film. This film angers me. This film really, really pushes all my buttons because it is a disaster. The CGI is outdated, the shots are horrendous, the magic is gone, the acting is terrible, the world design is poor. Everything about this film is lazy, it is cheap, it is nasty, it is just absolutely everything you do not want in this film. The comedy is not family friendly, the comedy is just aimed completely at kids, and it's just lost all its magic. The BFG was supposed to be a film which brought families together. Is a film that was so magical and so brilliant and was such an amazing tale to tell, and Steven Spielberg absolutely slaughtered it to pieces. The Queen turns up halfway through this film. Of course she turns up in the original, but it is the worst half an hour of my life. Everything about this film felt wrong. From the opening horrendous shot, Steven Spielberg has made some of the greatest films. He is hailed as one of the most fantastic directors of our generation, and people will give him a pass because of that. He does not deserve a pass. He deserves to be outed and shamed for this film because it was an absolute mess. Everything about this film, there is not one saving grace to this film at all. I hated every single aspect of this film, and if anything, I would put it at the bottom of my list. But one film decided to top it off, and you know it's bad when I'm absolutely raging at the fact that the BFG even exists and that Steven Spielberg was in charge of it, if there's a film below it. The Darkness is the worst film I have seen this year, and I told you, my number one film is a thriller horror. This is an attempt at a horror film. My uncle fell asleep, and my uncle never falls asleep in films. He legitimately fell asleep halfway through this film. Me and my mum looked at each other halfway through the film and I'm like, why are we still here? Why are we still here? Like, genuinely, what are we doing here? This isn't why. This is horrendous. Kevin Bacon is also one of my favourite ever actors. He's another one up there with Kevin Spacey and a couple of other actors. And he just really, I just love him in everything he does. And I honestly thought, and this is a phrase that I've used quite often, is that Kevin Bacon can save everything. Kevin Bacon can't save everything. He cannot save everything. And this film is just an absolute trash. It's no saving grace. The kid from Gotham's in it. He starts walking up walls and putting handprints, and this balls. At one point a snake appears. Why? Snakes, bulls, wolves, so much crap. I actually sat through this film. Hopefully it will stop you from watching this film, because it's not even... I suppose at times I did laugh because it was so bad. Like, one of the scares was genuinely that she moves a bag and there's a snake there for some reason. In, like, the middle of a house. Oh, that was the funniest bit of the film. There's a badger at one point. There's a bull, there's a wolf, there's just animals just appear everywhere, and that's supposed to be scary. In fact, my favourite part about this film is that there is an entire anorexia subplot, which is supposed to be a big deal, and they all go to the hospital, and then it's forgotten about. It's as if this film thought, you know what's a good film? The Room. Let's try and remake that. Let's just take the whole cancer plot from The Room, turn it into anorexia, just put it in here. We'll put it in, and then, you know, what we're going to do? Let's just forget about it. Forget about it. We don't need to know what happens to her. We don't need to know that she's anorexic anymore. She's fixed. She went to the doctor. She's fine. Don't worry about her. Worry about us because we're watching this film. Why? I don't know. Why I watched any of these films, I don't know. I knew most of them were going to be crap, and except the BFG, which really did go above and beyond to make sure it was terrible. These were just 10 horrendous films, and The Darkness, damn right, deserves to be right at the bottom of that list. The Blair Witch and BFG came very, very close, but nothing could top the terribleness that was The Darkness. So there we have it, my bottom 10, the 10 worst films I've seen this year, along with some other dishonourable mentions. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, check out my top 10 films of 2016. It's a lot happier and a lot more upbeat and a lot less, well, crap, because these are all really, really crap films. If you enjoyed this, check out some of my other videos as well. I also have a video essay on plot twists and a video essay on what happened to Christmas classics. I worked very, very hard on them, and I appreciate all the support. Happy New Year to every single person who watches this video. I can't wait to produce more videos in 2017, and I can't wait to see more films, and hopefully we get more than these crap films we've just watched now. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, like and subscribe, and make sure you're sticking right here in the new year for all the latest new reviews.